We're at 6:05. Stand for the representatives.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lori, can you do, please?
Thank you. Patty Burns,
Here.
Evan King,
Here.
Sherry Simmons, here, Matt Lyman,
Present.
Brian Van Dyke. You do not see, we'll watch for him, and Zach Gaynor saying he's not here yet, I'll watch for him, your ex officio, Counselor Weber.
Present.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes from February 9th. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I had sent in some corrections on the board members. It lists Simmons and vice chair as Para, and it should have been Patty Burns and Evan King, and that has been updated or corrected.
Yes.
So with that in mind, I move to approve the minutes as written.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
I have a first by Sherry, a second by Matt. All those in favor say aye.
I
All those opposed say nay. Motion carried. Okay, public comment. Do we have anybody online? Okay,
Yeah, I didn't receive anything prior to the meeting, sometimes I do.
okay. Public comment guidelines.
That's always just in
That's
there.
there? Okay.
Just for review.
No applications for the board.
I gave that lovely speech at the volunteer recognition night.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're still looking, so you
Okay.
guys can put the word out.
Okay. Summer concerts or other events. Anybody have any thoughts on that?
Is this including Garlic Festival or?
No, this would be like music in the park
Okay.
or.
So we used to have music in the park.
Mhm.
And we didn't do it last year because the year prior, attendance was like 8 people. And it was a lot of money to spend for 8 people to show up. So we have opted not to do them. I mean,
It sounds like a logical reaction.
but we have been using or having music with the ice cream social now. And does
Huge hit.
could that fall under the same category?
That's a discussion for you guys to have.
I mean, I think that that's a good place to utilize those funds.
Well, I think that's where it
Well,
should have done to
anyway.
them,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but I think we probably. Could do at least one more concert. Give it a try.
I think the main problem is we have to do it while there's already people in the city gathered for other things.
Yes,
I think that's one of the failing parts of it before, it's,
yeah,
even though,
doing,
Can you,
yeah,
I don't know if your mic's on,
I'm sorry, I'm talking low.
well, and I'm not sure it's on. Hold it, but I'm not sure.
I think 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon is not a good time
Right.
to do it. Maybe we do it on a Thursday evening or a Friday. Where there's kids aren't out playing their sports.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would agree.
And only other thing, yeah, like I said, now that the mic's on. I think we need to time it in conjunction with other things that might be going on in the city, to, like. Doesn't have to be while it's happening, but maybe afterwards, so like people stick around for it. Just so that people are already in the area.
So I know the 4th of July does not work. We've tried that for so many years that
It's too hot
It's- yeah.
generally,
it just doesn't work.
and so many people travel. too,
Right.
So.
I don't know what other events. I mean, we've got Garlic Festival and then
National Night Out.
National Night Out.
And you don't wanna take away from that.
No, because they usually bring a lot of equipment and
Yeah.
the horses and the dog.
Is there something we want to do in conjunction with the National Night Out, folks? I don't know the answer to that necessarily, but.
Well,
I
I
don't know if
just
there's
don't,
I don't know
Space
whether
for us to do it, right?
whether music at that event would make sense.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's already a lot going on. Have you been to it, Matt? Have you?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so Washington County Sheriff's Office, we schedule it with them ahead of time and they bring the boat. So for the water rescue,
I've
they
seen
bring,
Wonder,
they
yeah.
bring the bear, the stuff they use for SWAT stuff. They
Right.
bring the horses, they bring the dog, they bring, and then TBF&R has a couple of pieces of equipment and the library has a table and, I mean, and there's food, the hot dog
Mhm.
table and the treats.
Okay.
So there's kind of a
I
lot
have
going
heard
on.
that actually, now that I have a description to it.
Yeah, I mean, it would be background and,
And I don't know that that.
and,
would work.
and like last year, they took up the first.
Oh, they did,
They did, I mean, which was great.
right.
So I'm not sure that,
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think that's the appropriate place for it.
no, I think they get lost in the,
The parks in Brent Hill, do they have power there? Like on their pergolas and that, their covered areas?
Yes.
Are you talking about
Yes.
the new ones or the old ones? I
Uh,
do not know. They're not public infrastructure, so I'd have to go take a look at it and we'd have to get in contact with Rolling Rock to be able to coordinate anything with Brent Hill.
okay,
And I'm not sure when the phase 4 and 5 parks are gonna be completed either. I mean, there's a great space over there for it, and I think that there's outlets out there.
yeah, there's one covered area, I mean, I don't know too much about over there, but I know there's the one covered area that's been there for a while. And,
I don't know if they have electricity. I walk by it almost daily.
Yeah, that's nothing that's part of my review process, so,
okay,
I haven't seen anything in the bathrooms about it lately either, so
You would need a very long extension cord to get to the grass.
well, it could be in the covered area. That's what they do over at the other park.
Yes, but it's the covered area, the playground, sidewalk, and then the grass. So it's not set up down the same way.
It'd be a tripping hazard, really.
Yeah,
But once we get the one park done with the amphitheater,
Right,
you know. They've slowed down their pace lately.
Yeah.
But. Fingers crossed eventually.
well, there's always there's always,
Yeah.
you know, the other parks. On the other side, on the east side.
Sunset Ridge has, you know, they have power and.
Right.
Park number 4 is gonna be a really nice park and it's got kind of the right kind of venue to do some kind of music. It would kind of
Is
work
that
well.
Brent Hill?
The Bryn Hill number 4, it's a nice, very nice park. It's gonna have a bathroom. It'd be a really good way, maybe you could combine it with the grand opening. Have a little music, maybe there'd be treats for the kids, cause it's.
probably won't be till next year.
At the current rate,
And I know-
it's zero progress.
I know, I don't know what they're.
Have they ever said anything to you? I mean, they don't have to, but.
they don't have to, and that's another thing that we've talked with, you know, the Rolling Rock HOA manager and everything. I don't know if they are gonna have anything planned for the opening, because that's one of the things that they're also anticipating is get this thing open. So it's not just the city, it's
They
the
quit
HOA.
working on it weeks ago. I don't know why. You go by and nobody has been there.
No.
And they finished up the 5th one's basically done. It's very nice.
I have no contact. Last time I tried to contact them, nothing.
They don't have to.
No. But it's also the HOA doesn't know either. This is still the developer that's working on it. So it kind of radio silence at the moment.
Do we maybe want to send out a line to them that obviously they haven't gotten back to you, but maybe we've sent out a line that we're interested in. Helping put something on, like providing the music for a grand opening for the park.
That would definitely be something we can reach out. I mean, I've got the contact for the HOA.
You send that to me, I'll contact them.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, that would be a good place to maybe try one out.
I'll definitely give you
okay.
contact information for that.
Okay. All right, let's move on to memorial recognition tree program that Sherry sent the information out about.
I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at the form that I created. It's kind of, I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at the form that I created that has a few mistakes on it when I was rereading it. But, it's a place to start for a memorial slash tree or recognition program. And it would help provide the trees for Jessie Mays.
Just for Justin's?
Well, to start with,
Okay.
and then it can continue on after that for if trees need to be replaced or other parks or whatever, wherever.
Okay. Just a heads up, we're gonna have to replace some trees at the library. There's a sinkhole that came in and there's a couple of trees that have died over there. So I don't know if a heritage tree thing would help with the library as well.
It could, I mean.
Is that
it could
on
go
the-
Wherever.
312th side.
313th side.
How about,
313th and Haber, yeah.
how about a sinkhole are we talking about?
We had to get a patron out of the sinkhole and they got stuck. And my guys had to fill it in with gravel.
The road,
No, not the road, it's in the parking lot, the storm structure.
oh, the parking lot.
Oh, my.
And so that
goodness.
was something that, you know, we're gonna have to have an expense to fix the storm structure there in the parking lot. But the trees are also dying along that.
Yes,
road,
they are.
Because they're like the same kind of trees right here that are also dying, so.
Yes.
Yeah,
I guess they have a certain age limit.
yeah.
These, oh yeah. Yeah, that's like. a
They've already been that
20,
way.
But yeah, we had an arborist. Do it, check them all.
I don't know if you noticed, Dustin, that there's some leaf trim, branches down on the tree back here, a couple of them.
I think there's one that's dying over here as well.
It's
No,
straight
we're
down.
talking about branches that are broken off big.
Big
Big
branches
branches. I
that
have
have
not-
broken off over here on 309.
Yeah, it's closer to the corner on that side.
Hey, thank you, I will.
Yeah,
I will let the crew know.
I think there's two of them.
Okay.
Anyway, this is just a starting point. There's things that need to be figured out. Like we need to figure out the types of trees that can go in and let the people choose then the type of tree. But we need to come up with those trees. Somebody needs to come up with those types of trees that we want to plant.
Correct, if they, there is a tree planting list for the county.
Okay.
Specifically if it's close to the right of way or if it's close to power lines, there is actually a Washington County street tree list. And some of those street trees also have like kind of height
Right,
restrictions if
I
there
saw
are
that.
by power lines, so. Once we get everything, you know, perimetered, on here, we can go off of that Washington, County street tree list.
Okay,
That's the easiest, I also have a preliminary design from, 3J. It doesn't have to be those trees, it's just trees that they picked.
How expansive is the list from Washington County?
Gosh, it's gotta be at least 4 or 5 pages long.
oh, can
And we
can
would
we,
cut it down.
Yeah.
can we narrow it down to like maybe
I think
Yeah.
we'll,
Six.
10,
Yeah.
6 to 10?
Choices.
Yeah,
if need
I
be,
think we ought to go through and look at the trees, look at
Yeah.
how big
Yes,
they
pictures
get.
of them, get their.
Yes.
I mean, it would be nice
patterns.
to have a flowering tree again,
Yeah.
but you
No,
know, don't want
no,
any fruit trees.
we need it to be able to have a nice canopy
Canopy.
that provides shade that's not too low so that tents can go under them.
Are the power lines gonna go underground?
not with this project, unfortunately, we didn't have the budget for that.
Okay,
It's one of those things that, if there was no other alternative or anything, then the utilities would put, everything underground if there's no other alternative. But because we're making them do this, it's our cost in order to make it go underground.
And do we have a timeline for this project?
Not yet, but today I finally got, from our legal team to send forward what is it called? A restrictive covenant, because there's this whole thing about a permanent utility easement that we've been fighting with for the past year on the front, up here. Because, PGE, I'm gonna get into the weeds into this, but we finally have the legal paperwork for utilities to kind of use a certain area that wasn't otherwise defined. And that was holding up PGE for a long time. And so once PGE gets all their stuff relocated, then we can go in and finally have a contractor bid, or, we can have everything out for bid for a contractor. And so PGE is gonna try to finish everything before the Garlic Festival. They're gonna try. But we're kind of late in the game with this restrictive covenant. And so they may not be able to start until after Garlic Festival, which then pushes the rest of the project, later. Long, yeah, yeah.
We cannot get a break.
I'm having the same issue with Main Street, like dealing with utilities is not, with capital improvement projects, we've got a little bit more say than a developer, and I know there was issues with North Avenue on the developer end. It was still a fight with us, and we have a legal framework that we have to go through. We can't just tell people, yeah, do this. Because everything has to be recorded with the county and everything, so it's a long process, it's tedious. Yeah, anyway, long story short, after Garlic Festival is the best bet.
And it'll be completed before next Garlic Festival.
That would be the goal.
That would be the goal. I doubt it,
But, I
but
would
yes.
count on it. I mean, the way, anytime you've got other utilities involved and other government entities, it slows things to a crawl.
The other thing we also have to work now with is the railroad. The railroad is ready to work on everything down there this summer, but because everything is getting pushed back, then their schedule gets pushed back. And so there's gonna be a lot of coordination.
So they're gonna be working on that this summer?
Well, they were planning on it.
Good, then we won't have a train derailment, right?
Really about time.
Well, yeah, that's another interesting aspect of the project in itself is putting that storm line. Like we can't do any of this work up here until we get the storm line done underneath the railroad tracks, and the state is making them remove the additional track and everything right there. And it's just a lot of coordination, and I don't know when that piece is gonna be done.
Good,
Yeah,
I'm glad they're making it move it,
yeah,
move it,
yeah.
they just leave their stuff laying for years by the side of the tracks.
Yeah,
So what would be the soonest then that trees would be planted?
next spring.
Okay.
I think that's the absolute soonest.
Okay.
But it depends on when everything is gonna go in. If there's any type of delays, they're not gonna plant trees during the summer. It's either gonna be early spring or
Fall.
fall.
Yeah. And that's what the form says. I'm gonna update it to say spring and fall is when the trees will be planted.
We can also get trees for free from Clean Water Services. Every once in a while, they've got, usually it's in the fall. They have a surplus of trees, and I usually get a list at the end of fall.
Who has this?
Clean Water Services. Because they have their own program to like plant trees in the vegetated corridors and everything like that. And so there's a potential for us to even get trees for free. If
Well-
that helps at all.
Oh, it probably will.
Mhm.
I doubt that we'll be able to sell all the trees.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we'll get some people.
Also have been trying to get with various tree groups in the area. To help with, planting and volunteers and get something coordinated grassroots effort to be able to to plant some of the trees and get some advice from them, but that's kind of been an ongoing process the last 2 years, and since we don't have a start date, we can't really plan on anything, so it's just kind of in limbo.
Um. Did anybody have any questions about the form? And about the program itself?
I think it's lovely. I think it's great.
I put a price of $275 per tree. 25 of it is an admin fee for the Parks Foundation. The rest of it would go towards the planting of the tree.
What, like, does that cover cost typically? It would go to 250, does that cover cost, maybe a little less?
I'm hoping if we get the tree for free or donate, people purchase them,
Mhm.
then it's just the labor for the planting.
I think it's, well,
And if he gets a group to do some plantings, then there might not even be that.
Have we figured out how we want to do the memorial tags? Whether do it like the ones at the library or a different fashion?
Not yet.
This is all up for discussion right now. Because I can update this, form and then send it on to council. For approval.
And
Would it be a possibility, maybe get a plaque that you would use a tighter rope around the tree so the tree would grow around it?
You could do it or probably around a branch, but you wouldn't want to put it around the trunk, I would think.
what are we doing?
I've seen it where the tree will grow around certain objects, so I don't know if we got like a strong ropish material that the tree would sort of absorb, so as the tree grows, it would start to.
Well, it might
encompass the
girdle
back.
it, you don't wanna do that.
I would not
it can
recommend that.
compromise the tree.
Yeah.
affect the tree. But it looks cool, like a bicycle, then they're growing into trees.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Well, no, I wasn't thinking of
Well,
bicycle,
not the
but yeah,
bicycle,
yeah.
but yeah, the trees kind of will absorb it, but like, we don't necessarily want to compromise the area.
And trees grow so much.
Yeah,
I'm a Christmas tree grower and I have many big trees around my property. And the ones around our pond, we put Christmas lights around so that when we have weddings and that. And you can't believe when it rains and when those trees grow each year, how much they grow.
oh, yeah.
So we put the lights around the tree. They will tighten up in one season that it will split the lines apart.
How big is the tree cat? I just looked quickly, I
We
didn't see.
can do whatever size we want there, but it'll probably be like
No,
this,
3x5, 4x6.
Do we
something like that,
know what
yes,
type of
yeah.
material?
Yeah.
and-
There's some examples by the library of some nice plaques in front of the trees.
Yeah, and
I'm
we-
presuming those, right?
And we could do the same thing, attach it to a piece of wood that it's staked into the ground or whatever, same type of thing, so.
I would think there'd be some value in following the design cues that are already, so.
Alright.
I think if we wanted something lasting, because even the wood ones are falling over and they're kind of the actual plaques themselves, they're not metal, they're a different material and they're already wearing. If you wanted something longer lasting, you might want to consider doing something that's like either
Like
like
galvanized
steel,
stainless steel.
galvanized steel,
Right.
something that might last a little while longer.
We have one of our friends who had come to the farm for years for Christmas trees. She passed away, and so every year we have a special Christmas tree for her.
Mhm.
And we have a plaque, and it's stainless steel, and came with a stake to stake it down in, and it'll last forever. And that was made by, where we get our, I don't know about these badges, but,
Award special.
award specialties. Yeah, I mean, this one's big, this is, and it's got a saying on it and stuff, and it was $275 just for that. But they've got smaller ones.
That's where we get all our name
Oh,
plaques,
yeah.
our badges, so.
Yeah,
Mhm.
There's plenty of examples anywhere that you go
Oh, yeah.
around here with, trees and stuff like that. I mean, on last vacation that I had coming back from Ashland, and they have in the park there, they've got like those little metal plaques all over with the
Mhm.
trees, but they're kind of like saying what the tree is and
Right.
whatnot. So there's examples all
and that
over
would
the
be nice
place.
to have the type of tree on that too.
Yes, so that it would say the type of the tree. And it would say planting in loving memory of, or in recognition of, or on behalf of, the person's name, then the type of the tree.
Do you think you might, if we wanted to give them the opportunity to make it bigger, would we want to give them that opportunity for an extra charge, or just try to keep them all uniform?
The class,
Yes.
I would keep them all
Yeah.
uniform.
And I wasn't sure, maybe for an extra
No,
donation, we would add a nice memory or something.
no,
And that's,
I think the best bet for that is how big of a tree. Do you want to do a sapling or do you want to do a bigger tree? Because sometimes, like getting something with 3-inch or 4-inch diameter, one of these bigger trees is gonna cost more. And like when I was saying Clean Water Services is giving free trees, they're like small trees for free. And so
Can I get
maybe
a
they
red
want
one?
a bigger tree. That might, a bigger, more mature tree, pay a little bit more. That way,
I think the park would look really cool if we had a bunch of redwoods.
oh, we don't have the space for that.
I'll see my. All right, any other pieces of information on the reprogram?
Do we need a consensus or anything on this? To move it forward?
Sure. Is there a consensus among the board members?
Yes,
Favor of this program?
Yes.
yes.
So.
Okay.
And
I'll-
you're gonna present it to the council, is that what I heard you say?
I'll update it.
Yeah.
And then send the. Do I have to present it?
It's,
Can I just? Give it for the packet for them to review, or do
No,
they need somebody?
someone from the Parks Board needs.
Oh, yeah, I guess it is another quarter now. It's June already, that's the 6th month.
I mean, it doesn't have to be at the next meeting, you have,
No, we got
I'm just
lots of
saying
time.
that- Yeah,
Lots of
I mean, obviously, things aren't gonna be happening around here in the next
Right.
month or anything, so
Yeah,
you
that's fine.
you can take your time and.
What,
have
Oh,
consensus
okay.
to move forward, I would, like, when you have it finalized on what you're gonna present, I would. Present it to your
Yeah,
co-partners
okay.
here first.
For final approval, okay.
All right,
You're thinking with the council, it would be a resolution, Lori?
Not necessarily, no. Not necessarily,
just information.
yeah, in this case, it could just be a consensus vote, I believe, because it's not gonna cost the city any money, or, I mean,
Right.
it'll cost staff time, but some of it will be.
Some of it will.
I mean, we can
cover.
discuss it more, and we'll talk to the city attorney,
Yeah.
obviously, they make the decision
Sure.
whether it's a resolution or
The
not.
key would be to set it up in such a way it could be decided that night, so it wouldn't get drug out.
Right.
if it's a Parks Foundation thing, this is where I think it might be a little tricky. If it's gonna be a fee, then I think it would have to be on the fee resolution list. But if this is,
That's Emily deciding,
yeah.
so this would be presented by the Parks Foundation?
No, it'll
This
be,
is for parks, then I think we might have to present it as a fee.
I don't know, we'll see.
it's,
I don't know.
I think the Parks Board is presenting it and then. But the foundation is the one who will get the money.
Okay, because if it's the foundation that's giving the money and everything like that, I think that we're good, but if it's something that's gonna be going as a transaction through the city, like on our civic pay or anything like that,
No,
I think that's where.
it says to send the check to the
Okay.
foundation.
Okay, then I think we're good, but we'll have to check with
Okay.
legal.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Do you have some thoughts about how to let the city know about it?
Not until we'll send, it'll go in the
City
newsletter.
Yeah.
It'll get
Or in the North Plains
posted.
magazine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to, the role of the P and R board members at community events. So, was it council that asked about this, Lori, or who brought?
No, this came up several months ago and it was on a previous agenda and then we canceled the meeting, so it's just a discussion of, you know. If you guys feel you should be more a part of city events, it came up before that. And I don't remember how long ago, that the Parks Board should be a party to these things that are happening in town.
Well, I know there
I don't
was,
understand why.
Just as,
We're not the community event planner.
no,
We're for the parks and
Yeah, but-
improving the parks.
if you attend these events or have a table at these events, which you guys have never done, then you, I mean, look, you're still missing a member. You, granted, we don't have any room to put any more parks or anything, but the position for a parks program, whatever, has been posted. We've received applications, so you guys should be in attendance to hear what people are looking for and what kind of programs they want, and just a face for the board. You guys, I mean, that's it, just a face for the Parks and Rec Board. At city events, the library has a table when there's city events, the chamber has a table when there's city events. The you know, I don't know who else, police.
I would say the problem is that we're the ones that run the events, so,
Well, you too, yeah,
but,
you have 5 other
He was-
members that
well,
don't.
yes. He was at the ice cream social, Ryan was at the ice cream social, Don was there. You guys weren't, but,
I mean, if you don't want to, it's just an agenda item. If
okay,
you don't want a part of that, then you just,
I mean, I can see it where it could probably be, maybe work for National Night Out.
we do that.
But what are we gonna tell them? I mean, what do we have to talk about? Right now?
We're trying to work towards. Why nothing's moving forward. Usually if you tell people what the problem is, it does light a fire.
Well,
I don't know, I'm
It's
not
not
sure
gonna-
what we're gonna do with it.
And then just hear what they think.
I guess we would have to have,
I think that would personally just highlight the slowness of the,
Government,
yes.
it's not wrong,
And
besides the
and
government's
all the
slow.
bureaucracy and all the different issues that goes into updating a park. I think it would just add more fuel to a fire, so to speak.
I mean, the only other thing we could do is that we would have to have one person from the board be at these events, say at the chamber booth or our own booth, whatever, but it would be very limited on who would be there, who would be available to be in that. So. Any comments?
I mean, other board members would have to take that up.
Yes.
It's basically what she's saying.
I got that.
I say this from a position of having not attended those events as well as I should. We should probably, and now we have this discussion, like, I can certainly willing to go out and be a better visible representative of it. I don't think that can hurt us at all. And I think even as the city goes through a lot of these growing pains right now, that like, our name does get called occasion. And as we went through all these UGB meetings, there's a lot of park discussion. You know, and we were certain, you know, as Evan and I went through those meetings, like, yeah, that was a part of it. So, so I would start with myself as needing to be in the public better. And if we have to get down to just making assignments, just go be there for a couple hours and let's do it. And you know, it can't hurt to have better visibility.
We can work towards that then for the different events, that you choose somebody to.
If,
You know,
if anything, we could put a chalkboard up, say, what do you want for park and rec? Let people put something there. We don't have to necessarily have,
An agenda.
or printed materials, but just like, just a way to interact.
I think in general, this is just more of a. To get out in front of people, I mean, the ice cream social is great, because I believe Lisa pulled people from every board and commission in town. There's, you know, the thought was, why aren't all the boards and commissions having representation?
And all the
Just being
different things.
forward facing with your name tag on in case people want to ask questions.
Mhm.
That's, you know, it's not, I don't think anybody's expecting you to plan any events or anything like that. It's just, you are on a city board or commission. You should be there representing and able to answer questions that residents might have, or if they need help scooping ice cream, scoop ice cream and National Night Out. I don't know who always helps you hand out food, but there's always somebody from besides you, I know. But like Ricky Smith used to help all the time and his wife, and so it's just a matter of getting more
But he
involvement
was a
from.
counselor, yeah.
Getting more involvement from members of boards and commissions.
Yes.
Because we already know that NEPA does the majority of the planning of these things and the execution of them, but that doesn't mean that city representation for all the boards and commissions shouldn't be in attendance.
They should be. Mhm.
So,
Yeah, that's one thing that I feel has been really lacking is the presence of councils and the
Yeah.
different boards at the events. At the city
That's-
events.
that's what this was.
So is that going to every different
Um,
board?
Yeah, the EDC, they're kind of all over it already. The planning commission,
They're planning about it.
there's a couple of them that are, AD's all over it, represented being,
He was there.
he attends all the events.
Yes.
Kai does when he's in town, if he's not traveling for work.
Mhm.
That's Stuart. When he's,
But, you know, the rest of them are not so much, so.
Right.
You know, all the city can do is suggest, it's not like there's a. rule
Right, right,
You
right.
guys just Parks Board rules that say
Right.
you have to attend city events or anything, it's. For the good of the residents, for
Yeah.
the good of the representation for your boards and commissions.
So there
Um,
could be just a city tent that everybody
Yeah,
sits under
it could
for
be.
the different, yeah, just one
Yeah.
tent and everybody's there and
Yeah, just,
answering questions for
I
the
mean,
different
there's
groups.
probably people in this town that don't even know there is a Parks and Recreation Board.
oh, I'm sure.
And there are people that know that it's here, but gosh, what do you guys do? This is your chance to get out in front of them and say, this is, you know,
Mhm.
this is what we do, we're working on this,
Mhm.
we've helped do this, we're, you know. It's informational and,
I think it'd be nice if we had, just maybe, at least for maybe this national, I don't know, are we doing anything for the 4th of July besides the parade?
Just the parade. And
Oh.
then the nights with their food.
Well, maybe for that and or if maybe more easier we do for national at least. Is if we had like, for the parks, we had one member of the parks board, maybe one member of the Parks Foundation there. We have a couple things on the table, like the proposal for tree
Yeah,
planting
The break-
donations.
the.
We can give them
memorial-
information on how things are going, why we're trying
Exactly.
to raise the money. For what projects, give them the understanding,
Yeah,
just
this,
let them ask any questions they have.
yeah, just an opportunity to get information out. You know, that we hear a lot that people don't know what's going on, even though we put it in the newsletter, we put it on social media and, you know. The stuff that we don't put out there is not always factual, unfortunately, and. The more you guys can get out in front of it. Where you're actually a board member, they can ask you questions. I mean, like, Patty's been on this board for what, 75 years now?
Wow.
And Evan's been on it for 73. So you guys should be out there
Thank
talking
you.
about what we've done. What would they like to see if there's future growth? What would, you know? Do people know that the parks up in Bryn Hill and Sunset Ridge are open to everybody? There are people that have called us and said, I was told that I can't take my kids to that park because I don't live there. No, though, there's a, what's that called? Oh, it's a terror, oh my gosh, anyway.
They need to go back to the meeting, you guys, well, you might have been there. When one of the developers said that the big park over there was going to be mainly for those residents. And I about came up out of my chair. I
No,
don't care if
there's
this
a-
goes on record or what. And I said, really? Then nobody from your development there is gonna come to Jesse Mays? And he goes, oh, I didn't say that. I said, yes, you just did.
I think this is a future potential discussion of like signage or something like that. Maybe
Yes.
the Parks Board needs to come up with signs that are uniform across all
Mhm.
public parks and maybe a similar looking sign for the private parks that says, yes, this is a private park, but open to the public. And there's gonna have to be some communication with the HOA managers with that to be able to put a city specific sign right there. That would make it very clear.
And that'd be another thing nice to have on the table, have just a map of North Plains with
All
All the
the
different-
All the parks.
Yes.
public parks, the
They
public,
could-
private, but public ones and the
Yeah.
ones still in
print
progress.
out of all of them, the addresses of all of them, what amenities are there, we have
I
that,
mean,
it's on the website.
I suggested all of this 8 months ago.
Did you suggest it loud enough?
Well, I believe on the website, if I'm not mistaken, at least at one time I had, I don't know if it was on the old webpage or on the new webpage, that it was all the parks, including the private ones, but it listed whether it was a city or a private park. Whether it's still like that, I don't know.
I don't recall seeing that. At
It does
least
list
is it on
Parks
the
and Trails,
website
it's
now?
on the website under Parks and Recreation Department, not Board.
Yeah.
And it lists, Parks and Open Space Master Plan, Parks and Trails. The Parks and Trails lists. The address. And,
That's Sunset Ridge. That one is a public park.
they're all public parks.
Well, I'm talking about the ones for Bryn Hill and the other ones.
But those are public parks,
Those are-
aren't they?
Those are public parks. Those aren't the private parks. I thought we had the private ones too, which I didn't see.
What's the differentiation?
Yeah,
for private
private
versus public? park?
They're not,
They're
they're
not
not private, they're owned by by,
HOA parks.
there you go, that's.
HOA maintained.
So it's a HOA funded or HOA
Maintained.
maintained city
City
park.
park.
But anybody can use them because
Yes.
of that term.
So that could be something that we could get with the HOAs is let's put a city sign there, but then have maybe a little
Are there
blurb that
any
says
signs
maintained by
there?
the HOA.
At the parks?
No,
No?
Pretty austere still.
there's a little sign that has like rules or something and it's buried in the bushes. That's it.
This,
I
I
don't even
mean,
know the name of the
like
park.
this one, Sunset Ridge says, this park is currently owned and maintained by the Sunset Ridge homeowners.
Oh, that's old information.
I know, but it did, so at one point it did say that, There are none of the Brent Hill parks are on the website.
Okay.
No, I'm not aware of them. So,
Using the playground at the HOA parks is never controversial, they come and go. The tricky part is. If you show up at one of the Bryn Hill parks and host a big party and take over all the tables. That's where you get into kind of a gray area, because they're taking over this gathering area but as far as people driving up, parking, using things, that's never an issue. But that comes up every now and then
Do
at
they-
Sunset
Do
Ridge.
they have to reserve those parks for,
No,
no?
you can't make them. So every now and then, that's a gray area, like I see it at Sunset Ridge, they come in, they take over a park, a lot of them don't live there. But then the HOA has to pay to kind of clean up a little or whatever. Anyway, I don't think we solve that issue very easily. But it does come up every now and then.
We get calls for those those HOA parks for the city crew to come and fix certain things, and I just pass it on to the HOA.
So
That
would you say something like, HOA parks can only be reserved by HOA residents?
I'm not sure they have a mechanism with.
Yeah, they do.
Like, I don't think, maybe I haven't searched through the Brent Hill paperwork, but I don't think we could reserve.
Oh, you can't, okay,
I don't think we can.
Yeah.
I don't really have a way
I don't
of
think you have a
enforcing
mechanism built to it.
okay.
It's like we don't have a mechanism to reserve, this has been brought up internally. We don't have a mechanism for somebody to, let's say, like, there's someone who wants to have a pickleball tournament over here, and they want to reserve the entire place, and like, well, we don't have a mechanism for that. We don't, it needs to be on a fee schedule, we need to have all this stuff. But like, potential compromises, them renting the gazebo and everything else is first come, first served. But we don't have a mechanism for that, and I would assume that the HOA doesn't have a mechanism based on the conversations that I've had with them.
The only thing that can be reserved right now in town is the.
The gazebo and
And
this
the building.
facility.
and this facility only until the end of August, and then it's closed.
For now, we're
For
trying to,
September, we're trying to get the roof done before the rains hit.
that's what we're aiming for, yeah.
So right now on the calendar, it says that the building is not available for private rentals
Okay, for August and
for
September.
September. And
Yeah, trying to set the date for after Garlic Festival.
Good idea.
Well, if we did it beforehand, we'd be interrupting all of the library book programs and stuff like that.
Mhm. Okay. All right. Move on to UGB package updates.
I actually did not make it to that one, but I am Bill, luckily.
So I made it to all three.
Okay,
The third one was especially spicy. It was very well attended by the city for the third one. The first two were much more of the 3J consulting, presenting three different ideas to the city. Certainly all those ideas are all online, I believe, but a lot of them were the same. There are some nuances through them. Some featured more parks, some featured some more environmental areas along Mackay Creek as the people, as we call it now. There's certainly a lot of opposition to it still, as that third meeting was a little rough. I think Bill had a rough night. He needs a night off for that. But again, it's still in this is what it would look like. These are ideas of how it would be. I think the message is still out there that the city's planning to do this one. It was made pretty clear through the meetings that we're just idea searching. So 3J came up with some ideas. One of the key ones was one Don brought up some time ago about building around it's called the Lind Reservoir up there.
Mhm.
So there's several different versions that feature bigger parks and smaller parks up there. That was really interesting, although I don't know if anybody wants to live on the downside of an earthen dam. As your father pointed out in the meeting. But it'd be a really pretty place up there. That'd be beautiful. And be some great parks. The concept of parks was well represented through the other two ideas very well. and creating better green space and flow between the eastern side of the city and the western side of the city. You know, pushing through Pacific Avenue, having parks and pretty good green space to use as a separator between Don's neighborhood. And I understand why you guys aren't super happy about it, but they want to put a commercial and an industrial area between the freeway and the Sunset neighborhood. And so there are some ideas of, I think they've called it a resi boundary or something like that, where we just can put more parks, more green space to help create better separation for that housing area, which is very appropriate. And then, you know, the creek features a lot of things that we can turn into trails and walking spaces, and
When it's
Is
not
there-
flooding.
when
Is
it's
there-
not flooded, it's one of our features here.
Was there room for a larger park, like an acre park?
So there's a
That's
little
not just
discussion,
walking trails,
there's a little discussion about that up towards Lynn Reservoir. There's
but
even
nothing over in that other side.
nothing big. Smaller parks was my
Yeah,
impression.
see, that's where we struggle. We need a bigger park in this town.
So there'd be space up toward Lynn Reservoir. There's an interesting discussion about finding that, like, hosting the Garlic Festival at the park. At a big space like that. And so do we move the Garlic Festival, but also that, the Garlic Festival brings so much to the downtown area. And just the character that is North Plains Region. And so it certainly merits much bigger discussion. As we said before.
I know I said something about that area where the water is would make a good fairground there for North Plains. Wouldn't have to be too massive, but. Does a fairground count as a park?
I don't know. Depends on where the bear.
Depends where the fairground.
Yeah. We just need 40 acres.
Well,
Just-
we don't even need 40 acres.
Well, more than once I pitched the idea of, look, the city is gonna be pretty unhappy about whatever expansion you do.
Oh, sure.
At least out of the expansion, we could bring something big for the city, and I mentioned a rec center a couple times. Just something to sort of, yes, we're changing the city as you want it, but here's something that I think would be great. That comes with being a growing city. You know, so we did, that was talked about, but I don't think anybody was on board with it. But at least planted some trees. Dawn, does that sound about right? You were
Yes.
well involved with that.
Yes. Good summer.
Okay. Any questions for him? All right, Evan, is our Parks Foundation meeting?
We haven't had one yet, but we're supposed to have one, I believe, on the
11th?
this week or next week.
City Well.
They just check real quick. Yes, it is the 11th.
Okay. We're at 4 o'clock at the center,
4:30.
4:30.
Yeah, so unfortunately, we still haven't had it in a while. I can understand that maybe some things have been a little bit messy and
Yeah. Yeah,
the director is live,
yeah.
so
Okay.
hopefully this should go through and we should be able to meet up and
Okay,
have fruitful discussion.
all right. Any other updates or comments?
Will you be able to let them know that we're working on the memorial tree program? That would run through them?
I wrote myself a writer, so, yeah.
Okay,
Just, well, we have, since we're not doing too much right now, just something to start thinking about is. If we will go over the Parks Master Plan. Maybe start thinking about thinking of designing some trails that go through all the new development. Up north. And or down through. West Union over in that. Bryn Hill. And Sunset. Just to start, we don't have to do anything about it yet, just start thinking about it, start maybe thinking of. Some good walking trails, go for a walk during the summer, see what. It's a nice walk.
budget.
Yeah, and until
anything's brought in, I don't know that I would spend too much effort on it yet.
Just a thought to start adding some more, because obviously there's no trails that go through there right now.
There's just one walking path. The blacktop. It's the only way to get from point A to point B.
Talking about for Sunset.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's also HOA property, we wouldn't be able to put anything in that's not right of way or right
I'm not
utilities.
saying put anything permanent in, just to design a walking trail.
Well, we couldn't design a walking trail until we know what the layout is gonna be of whatever is gonna go in there.
I think there's already one in the master plan right now. I mean, if you want to update what's already there, there's not a whole lot to work on until we know what's going to happen.
That's sort of what I was getting at, is like, take what we already have added, and maybe add some walking trails that go through some of the parks. Connect it. Or walk, or just to walk around town, just add some more walking trails that include some of the newer section. That was just my thought. Well, we have the time.
I mean, even some of that stuff, we could even just put a map on and just kind of, hey, these are some walking routes. We don't even need to do a master plan for that. We could just design. I'm sure there's plenty of people around town who have strata or whatever it is that you can do their own routes or whatnot. But we don't even need to do a master, because a master plan is a little bit more involved. It requires consultants and everything, but we can come up with our own private, like. That's something that could even be asked for residents, hey, what is a nice walking route that you have come up with in the past? And then draw like something on a map or something like that, and then we can present that. It's kind of like what Explore Tualatin Valley does for their bike hubs and everything. Or here's where you can go from point A to point B, and that can be more of a grassroots effort from the communities. Like, this is the route I use, because there's so many people who walk around town. But as far as actually putting it into the master plan, nothing's gonna happen. Yeah, nothing's gonna happen for a while with that master plan.
Explore Tualatin Valley was at the EDC meeting in May. I would encourage you guys to watch that video of the meeting. They're great people, they really are. And EDC is working towards working with them on getting some things in place. They're working on a passport program for the fall and holidays, kind of about that
Right.
stuff. So, if you have not seen that video yet, I encourage to watch. Their presentation is at the beginning, just like always, so.
What's it called again?
Explore Tualatin Valley.
Okay.
They're the ones who also helped with the mural and everything downtown. And they're got their hand in a lot of little.
They're sponsors of the Garlic Festival.
Yeah, they're great.
The other thing that would be interesting to consider, a lot of people, when you go on walks, you wanna know where the restrooms are. So once the restroom is done at Bryn Hill, you could explain that from Jessie May to Bryn Hill is this far, and then if you go over to Veterans Park, there's a porta potty, and then if you go over, people like to know that, and here's how far each of them are, and that could be on the route, right?
There's a specific term, wayfinding signs. Like, we have the wayfinding signs down, with the big black signs and everything. That's something that could possibly, we could have a map of the various walking paths that we can put by, like, we've got benches and everything every once in a while. At the parks, we could have a little stand that has, these are our trails near here, that kind of thing. Most parks
Where there's bathrooms, where there's porta potties, and then where there's water.
Yeah.
Wanna know where the drinking fountains are too.
Yeah, we can have that. I mean, that's something that we could design, but
Mhm.
it's all ideas at this point. And I think that's totally something that we could totally work with, but we also need the budget to be able to put those in, and our parks budget right now is pretty sparse. But it's a great idea to be able to have those wayfinding signs within the parks themselves.
And I don't think that they have the water turned on in Bryn Hill yet.
And Bryn
Hill
Hill,
have fountains?
They do.
Incorrect, yeah, we don't.
We don't control
we
that.
don't
Yeah, I
control that.
know.
Yeah,
I don't think they have them even turned on yet.
there's only been a couple days since the while, I mean, and they wanna get wet, they can stand outside today.
Okay, staff comments.
I did have something just a moment ago. Let me get my bearings, straight. Goodness. Do you have anything? Lori,
I don't,
I had something and I lost it. It was on the tip of my tongue. Well, you think about it. We're getting a new roof on the building. Super great. Has there been any more thoughts, city council level, about additional updates to the building? Getting the kitchen in a usable fashion?
no, they had to get into contingency funds to get the money to repair the roof.
Okay.
They had to get approval, I mean, so. that had
And what
to
is
be-
the cost to replace it?
Well, I have to get the final cost, but we were approved up to $100,000 to do not just the roof, but any of the structural and other things that.
Because we don't know
would be
what's
done.
under the drop ceiling and the gutters on probably need to be replaced.
Yeah, there's a lot that needs to be replaced just besides the roof, and council also approved long-term investment. And so we're looking at like a 50-year metal roof. And so I don't know if you had heard part of the conversation is, the building is gonna have its 100-year anniversary next year. And so that's also something.
There we
that
go,
concern-
music for that.
Music, sure, centennial music. And so trying to keep this building in tip-top shape is, I think, something that the community will definitely approve. I would hope, yeah.
Hopefully the foundation, the Parks Foundation will get some oomph behind it and
Get some donations for
yeah,
that.
start working on that because
Kitchen.
there are certainly businesses like Intel who will match or contribute or, but you gotta have a foundation for them to do that.
Mhm.
So-
Yeah, there are some private, public. They're not grants, they're things, but you also have to have a plan in hand.
Yeah.
Like you have to have the total cost, you have to have everything already set up. And so we can't just go up to them and say, hey, can we have $50,000 for such and such? And plus also if you get over $50,000 and you get into bowling and whatnot, and the costs actually go skyrocketing up. Which is another reason why the cost for the roof was gonna start to skyrocket, because once you get over that 50,000 threshold. It just skyrockets. So what was I saying? But as far as updates, I think I was gonna update about the construction projects around town more than anything in Jesse Mays Park, but I already mentioned that earlier. Oh, one of the things I was gonna try to do for the Garlic Festival, was have 3J put, the big, like, what's coming soon signs for like what is going on in the perimeter, and then kind of mention the whole tree situation. And that's when I was trying to work with some of these tree organizations and like work with us and have a booth at the Garlic Festival. But it's just kind of been stalled right now. And
You
we'll
got
see
2
how-
months.
So, what was that?
You've got 2 months.
On the clock. But then again, as part of Garlic Festival and everything, like all these boards out here that we're also gonna get a new roof, here's the plan. So this, communication is gonna be a huge thing.
Mhm.
And so we'll see how all that goes.
Okay.
Totally unrelated, how are the bathrooms being taken, how are they being treated better by the public here we have? With the different closing hours and everything?
Let me go back, and so we have a new camera.
Okay.
For as far as vandalism, we haven't had anything since. And both of the bathrooms are open. Even we made it harder and more difficult for anybody to vandalize. We also like took out all the paper towel, because that was part of it, is people stuffing paper towels, stuff like that down there. We have hand dryers in there now. And we just made it easy to fix as part of it. And just took away the barriers or the things that people were using to help.
So it's approved.
So it's improved greatly.
Fantastic.
So are those cleaned every single day? Does he go in and? Whoever
That is
cleans
one
it.
of his things, we try to check it twice a day. It doesn't always work out that way with the schedule, but Isaiah is the primarily one who goes in there and checks it at least once a day. And we've also had discussions with, Ace to kind of keep an eye on it and, you know, make sure that the doors and everything, we had a random issue the other day where, like the doors locked, and we couldn't figure out what happened, and so we had to go in and,
I've seen that a couple of times.
they just random,
Reset the,
Yeah.
do you have to reset the code, the timer and everything, or just the code?
just reset the code, like, I don't know exactly how that happens, but on a public works side, those locks are not the greatest locks, and trying to improve security and locks throughout the town. And that's one of the things I would like to work with a future project is change out those locks that make it a little bit easier for us to control.
I don't know if there's a. I don't wanna get anybody in trouble, but you might look at the bathrooms when you leave today and decide. I think the question is what cleaning the bathrooms means, cause I've been by a few times after they were clean and I was surprised. I'm not sure.
These are great things, Counselor, to report on the actual, like, we have a report an issue when it happens, take photos. Because then we have something that we can go off of.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You might just take a look, cause the way they are today is the way they've been for a month probably.
A month,
See, my daughter-in-law walks a lot and she says the same thing, but
that's, nothing has changed.
they're not. He might go in there, but they should be cleaned. In other words, he should have a bucket and a brush or whatever he
Oh.
uses.
With the amount of places that we gotta go around town, I'm spending a majority of the time there. This is something I can work with our staffing.
Take too long. It should.
It shouldn't.
Quick.
It shouldn't, and I think that there's a way that we can spray down there, but if there are issues, please report it. Because I do not go around, and checking my staff every single day, to see if they've done it or not. And so if
You
something
know,
doesn't
he
get done,
has like a checklist
he does have a checklist. And
that
so.
would say like, do the mirror, do the same.
Correct, he has a checklist, and so if he's not doing that, please report it. Because,
Use that reported issue on
Yeah.
the city website, cause then it goes to.
correct, and that's another thing that I've been working on is getting a QR code to be able to post at various places and say, report an issue, go directly here. It's now. It was, that reported issue page was like hidden up in the top bar, and then it was hidden like in the public works page, but we're able to finally put it on the actual main page, report an issue right there. And as long as that gets used, like comments and everything that go on Facebook, we don't get those. So if people are complaining elsewhere, if people are complaining elsewhere and we're not getting it, we don't know about it. And so that's something that I think it would be good for the Parks Board, council. It's like, please have them report to us so we have it documented. And that way we don't have people always complaining, how can we never do this? So one might not know about it, or I might not know about it because I don't go like a mother hen and check my crew, even though they have a checklist. So these are things that, it's just, we're gonna try to make it easier, and I think a QR code is gonna help, but that's just gonna take some time and figuring out how to do the QR code, put all these different things. That's something that's on my list of things to do.
A practical question. I know the Parks Board had a lot of energy. There seemed to be some support for putting a playground behind the park, by the post office. Just where did that end up? It sounded like that was a pretty positive thing to put a park there. Sounded like there was maybe money in the Parks Foundation. Is that? Just curious what kind of happened to that idea?
So there's a lot of other CIP projects that are going on right now, and so the parks items are kind of on a back burner until we get the other CIP projects up and running. But it is something that our, engineering team is aware of, because we'd have to get a cost of, what can we put out there and, get like a parks designer to see what would fit. Because it is a small place and there is a sidewalk that runs through it, so there is gonna be like a minimal, design effort that's gonna have to happen with that. It's just one of those things that, yes, we have that on our plan, but we haven't gotten to that yet. It's kind of lower on the totem pole.
I'd like to jump in on that really quick. Ryan, our newer Parks Board member, wish he was here tonight, was going to, cause he works in that field. And he was going to reach out to a person that he knows who could come and look at that park and then give us some ideas. And a cost associated with it, so that we would at least have a starting place to work from. So I don't know where he is with that.
I remember we just had discussed possibly just taking up that sidewalk through the middle, make more room for fall space for.
This person was going to look at all of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he's done with it, if he's done anything with it, so we need a follow-up from him.
Okay.
I have, two questions. One is the, your mural sign on the far end on Main Street. Can that be re-glued back on? The one that came off?
That is in our office right now, or that was one of the tasks, and it's just kind of the common theme is the guys have a lot of daily tasks that they attend, and it keeps on getting pushed back. If push comes to shove, maybe I can find the glue and I can put it on myself, but it sounds like it had fallen off before. And with the new glue that they used, it just kept on falling off, so we're gonna try to find something that makes it
Yeah,
work.
I don't know. It looks like it's only been glued once, unless they chipped all the old glue off. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I'm just reporting what I got from the guys. Maybe it was a different sign that had fallen off, but I'm just reporting what was reported to me.
The other question is, will there be flower pots put up on Commercial Street?
Yes,
Any
we've already
Maybe that's-
ordered them.
Okay,
If you want to know specifics, I requested red, white, and blue flowers for them. We told them we would need them the middle, like the third week of June.
okay, so soon.
Yeah, definitely by the end of the month.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Don, do you have any updates or comments?
It looks like we've already covered a lot. The other thing that's happening is, Council Reading stepped aside. My understanding is applications are due by this coming Friday noon, right? And then the selection would take place at the following Monday's council meeting. And then that person would be installed and begin 2 weeks after that. Correct? Is that all?
3 weeks after that, yeah. But
Sure.
yes, the
3
first
weeks?
meeting in July.
Oh, because it's the way the meetings.
Yeah.
Yep. We've already talked about the roof, Reading. The other thing that's already been talked about, the biggie obviously in the city is figuring out the UGB, what we're gonna do on the growth discussion, so. That consumes a lot of discussions if you're out walking, talking to people, it's the big item and that's proceeding, so we'll see where that ends up. Yeah.
Okay, that's it. All right. Do we have any other discussions that we need to bring up?
Actually, I just had one other thing. When I was playing with my nephew on the play structure here, I did notice that some of the bolts were either had their heads smashed off and or were broken.
At this park?
Yes.
Okay. I'll make sure my guys take a look. Every once in a while, they'll probably once or twice a month, they'll check what they can easily see. If you have a specific location, please take photos and this is where like that report and issue page comes really in handy.
Okay.
All right, there's nothing else. Meeting is adjourned. 7:20.